Hey everybody, Brian Henne here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about debates. More specifically, why on the Democratic side we have no more debates between now and April 19th's New York primary election. So I believe the original reasoning behind that was because they weren't sure if the primaries would still be going on at this point, because a lot of the time they're already decided by this time of the primary. Obviously, it is still going on, so we should be having more debates scheduled, and it sounds like they are thinking about having one in the near future, but we'll see if that actually happens, because the Hillary Clinton campaign now has been saying that they don't want to have a debate, and their reasoning is because of the tone of the Bernie Sanders campaign. Because he's been really underhanded and negative? That's what they seem to be claiming, that the Bernie Sanders campaign has been unfair or underhanded, and they need to change their tone because I assume because they criticized the Hillary Clinton campaign at all, or criticized Hillary Clinton as a candidate. Yeah, they're running a political campaign. They're gonna criticize you, especially when you're the front runner. It's not unfair. Like, if there are unfair criticisms, we've seen plenty of unfair attacks on the right, on the Republican side. Bernie Sanders has not been doing that type of thing. So, criticizing her ties to Wall Street, or her taking millions of dollars in donations, or as I like to call it, investment from Wall Street, or some of her policies, for example, supporting the Iraq War, or not being in favor of gay marriage until 2013, when over half the country was also in favor of it. Those sorts of things, those are completely fair. That's either policy when it comes to things like the Iraq War and other things that she voted for, the bailout of Wall Street, those sorts of things. Those are policy. The Wall Street stuff on her taking donations, it's not exactly policy, but it's a completely fair thing to talk about the fact that she's getting millions of dollars from these people who are professional investors, as if they're just giving it to her because they think that she's best for the country. But, anyway, my thought on why she actually wants to do this is because, for one, I think that she thinks she has it locked up, or at least if, as long as they can keep where they are, they have it locked up, so they don't want to have more debates where people hear more about Bernie Sanders, because they're concerned that the more people hear about Bernie Sanders, the more that they'll like him, the worse they'll do, and especially after the giant losses in small states, mind you, but still massive losses, about 80-20 in the three contests on Saturday. I think that they're worried about what's to come, and it's a strong possibility they should be. So that's my thought on why they actually don't want to have it. But then there's the element of just the fact that the Hillary Clinton campaign is even saying this, suggesting that Bernie Sanders has been unfair or underhanded, or whatever the problem is with his tone, because if anyone on the Democratic side has been unfair, it would be Hillary Clinton. And I know it's not her individually, because she has people for that. But, like, for example, Madeleine Albright before, when she said there's a special place in hell for women who don't support other women. Some people might say that she was just saying women should support other women in a general sense. But in the context of what she was saying, she was announcing Hillary Clinton, and then you factor in the context of what she was saying before that. She was talking about how the real political revolution would be having a woman president, which was obviously a shot at Bernie Sanders because he talks about a political revolution. So it was in that context that she said this, and the insinuation to me seems to be any woman that does not support Hillary Clinton does not support women. And maybe that's not what she meant, but nonetheless, that seems to be an implication of what she was saying within that context. You also had the Gloria Steinem comment on Real Time with Bill Maher, where she said that young women who were supporting Bernie Sanders were just doing it because that's where the boys are. I mean, you wouldn't, if I didn't know that she was a feminist icon before that, I would have thought that she was a Fox News host because that's incredibly sexist. I mean, that's unbelievable that she would say something like that. And she did apologize for that. But just the fact that she said it in the first place, this whole notion that women who support Bernie Sanders are not real feminists, like, I don't think they understand what feminism actually is. So, like, for example, the example I've used for this is, by that same logic, every woman should have supported Carly Fiorina. Or if Sarah Palin ran, then they all should have supported Sarah Palin. Or like in 2008, all women should have supported John McCain because Sarah Palin was the vice presidential candidate. We've never had a woman vice president. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's not what feminism is. It's believing in equality. And I think that's part of the problem. That's why you have some of the anti-feminist rhetoric in the country, and especially you see it on the internet now, is because people doing stuff like that, suggesting that the only way you can be a feminist is by supporting other women because all women are inherently feminist. It's not. It would make sense for them to be, but if you've ever watched Fox News, you know that not all women are feminists. I mean, they talk about how women's places in the kitchen and stuff like that. I mean, so like I may be a male, but I'm more of a feminist than some women are. That's just that's just the way it is. It's not about what gender you actually are. It's about your belief on equality. So anyway, it's a little bit of a tangent, but that's what I'm trying to get at, is that is an underhanded thing to say. It was tied to the Hillary Clinton campaign. It may not be her saying it specifically, but she did not condemn the things that these two said. And then there was also the incident at the Nevada rally before, where it started this suggestion that Bernie Sanders supporters were saying English only, and it started from the Spanish translator herself. There was a Spanish translator at the event that they got who was wearing a Hillary Clinton for President shirt, and the Bernie Sanders supporters didn't really like that because, I mean, it's a Hillary Clinton supporter at the Bernie event. I mean, and she's wearing a Hillary Clinton for President shirt. Yeah, they're gonna, they're at a Bernie Sanders event for a reason. They don't support Hillary Clinton. But they didn't say English only. There's no reason to believe that. It was completely made up. But the Hillary Clinton campaign was furthering that notion. And then even I saw some people suggesting that Bernie Sanders was doing it. He wasn't even there. But anyway, it's ridiculous, this idea that Bernie Sanders and his supporters are the sexist and racist ones. We're the most liberal progressive. I mean, by definition, liberal is not sexist and racist. It doesn't mean that you can't have some liberal positions and other ones not be liberal on, but by being a liberal, that you, by definition, believe in equality. That's what that is. So it's just a ridiculous idea. Bernie Sanders is the most liberal and progressive candidate, easily. I think anyone that denies that is either naive or I don't know. That's just ignorant, just completely ignorant, because obviously he is. And his supporters are the most liberal progressive. By definition, liberal progressive correlates with being more accepting. So it was a bit of a rant, but it's just completely ridiculous, the suggestion that the Hillary Clinton campaign has been making on this. They should hold a debate. They should be willing to do it, because there's no problem with the tone of the Bernie Sanders campaign. And that's the point I was trying to get to, was just that's the stuff that they did. Bernie Sanders, his tone has been about criticizing her for her ties to Wall Street and her policies that she has had and that she still supports now. So it's not unfair. He shouldn't change what he's saying, but the Hillary Clinton's campaign should agree to a debate, because it's about the voters, and, there's no issue with the tone of the Bernie Sanders campaign. If you have an example of how they've been unfair or underhanded, please let me know. I'd be really interested to know, because I don't know of any. But there should be a debate, and what I support is, I've seen this online, and a petition, and I signed it. I think you guys should check it out, was for the Young Turks on YouTube or on their website, tytnetwork.com, to hold for them to host a debate. I think that that's a very good idea because all of the general all of the uh, media outlets that have been hosting debates, young people don't pay attention to. The average age viewer of these, the main channels like the 24 hours news networks like CNN and MSNBC is over 60. So I think it is important, especially for the Democratic Party, who is supposed to be the party of young people and is supposed to be the inclusive party and the party of the people, should hold a debate on a forum that young people actually watch and actually trust. So I think people should check that out. That's what I personally support. I think that's a great idea, and we should absolutely have a debate. That's basically what I wanted to get across in this video. So comment down below your thoughts, and if you have any examples of how the Bernie Sanders campaign actually has been unfair in any way, or what your thoughts are on the idea of the Young Turks hosting a Democratic debate, and whether you think that there should be more debates. Anyway, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.